I want to thank you for joining us today for our presentation of our work entitled Motivation in Cross-Disciplinary Biomedical Policy and Education Health Teams, a comparative case study using the MATRICx. Today, I'm joined by my esteemed colleagues, Emily Balog, Assistant Professor of Occupational Therapy Program, Department of Rehabilitation and Movement Sciences at the School of Health Professions, Rutgers University, and Shelley Brundage, Professor and Chair of Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences, George Washington University, and I am Gaetano Lotrecchiano. I'm the Associate Dean of Innovative and Collaborative Pedagogy, as well as an Associate Professor in the Clinical Research and Leadership Department at George Washington University. The MATRICx is a psychometric instrument that can be used. It's free to use and is available at the App Store and also on Google Play for those who use Android. We're not going to have time today to talk about the details of the MATRICx, but you can download it for free, either by searching for it or going to www.matrix.net and get both information and instructions on how to access the tool for your own use. National and international trends are urging team science scholars to provide greater and more specific directions about how stakeholders might better work together to encourage greater team fit and secure innovative scientific outcomes that positively impact society. The MATRICx, the psychometric tool developed by our research team, measures individual motivations to scientific collaborations for the purpose of informing how these priorities might help teams reach their goals. As a research tool, we use it here to measure motivational differences and similarities across different types of health teams, namely biomedicine, health policy, and health education teams, as we explore the various motivations to collaboration within each type of team. The aim of this study is to investigate the individual motivations for collaborative science in established knowledge-producing teams, or KPTs. In a prior study utilizing the MATRICx instrument revealed a hierarchy of motivators for teamwork. The items used to build the MATRICx survey were culled from the literature spanning from 1950 through 2013. Specifically, a scoping review and domain analysis explored the team science literature that considered intrapersonal indicators of collaboration as motivations and threats to participating in collaborative KPTs. 6 domains of motivation inform the MATRICx and its conceptual model. This present work seeks to embellish underlying meaning of the constructs, while the model focusing on the following aims and research questions. Aim 1, qualitatively describe individual motivation and threat in cross-disciplinary teams at a local university. Aim 2, qualitatively investigate the relationship between motivations, degrees of engagement, and satisfaction of human need in team members working in established knowledge-producing teams. This is accomplished through semi-structured interviews. So our first research question was, how does individual motivation impact high-functioning problem-solving teams? And our second research question is, what is the relationship between motivation, degrees of engagement, and satisfaction of human need in team members in established KPTs? Our hypothesis is twofold. One, that there's a basic primary psychological needs must be met before an individual may, secondly, advance to higher level need satisfaction, which are the result of meta-motivation. The desire to better oneself. As one strives to be more engaged in teams, they may also be satisfying higher level needs. We devise parallels between different stages of Maslow's hierarchy of need, psychological, safety, belonging, esteem, and self-actualization, with the strategic alliance construct to test this relationship. The strategic alliance construct on the left provides a hierarchy or levels of engagement. We identify these levels as we describe low to high level interactions spanning informal to formal social engagements. The hierarchy of motivations established to the matrix, the center panel, is built on a range of less challenging to more challenging motivations, showing a degree of endorsement amidst participants. This designation was achieved utilizing Rausch analysis. We believe that through research about deeper meaning of these motivations and how they contribute to needs categorized in collaboration, we can better understand how motivation can address team member needs, and ultimately how these can promote and sustain better performance in these teams. We draw a parallel between informal engagement with more basic needs and more formal engagement with more complex needs. Here, shown in a different way, we show how low to high or informal to more formal engagements align with the hierarchy of motivation items that make up the matrix, shown on the right side of this figure. The matrix hierarchy shows on the right side is based on lower bottom to higher top endorsement as a result of the matrix Rausch analysis that describes the less challenging endorsements on the bottom and the more challenging endorsements towards the top. And this is the validated hierarchy of the instrument.
So this comparative study utilizes the matrix in a mixed methods comparative case study, comparing health education, biomedicine, and health policy communities within health sciences to quantitatively identify individual motivation and threat in cross-disciplinary problem-solving teams, and qualitatively investigate the relationship between motivations, threats, degrees of engagement, and satisfaction of human need in team members working in established knowledge-producing teams. So the graph images are a representation of the quantitative data from the matrix tool. It's organized such that each team, biomed, health education, and health policy, are on these three separate graphs. And each of the 17 matrix motivators, which appear on the blue bar on the left, are represented on the graph by a single bar, with each participant marked by a color as shown on the key. When answering questions in the matrix assessment, participants can respond with exactly, quite well, somewhat, or not at all. Somewhat and not at all are represented on the graph below the 0% threshold, and quite well and exactly are represented above the 0% threshold, marked by that thin blue line. So for example, health policy teams overwhelmingly selected that question number 1, others enhance my work, represents them as exactly or quite well.
This slide reports our qualitative findings to date. On the right-hand side are the 3 domains that emerged from our qualitative analysis regarding variables influencing satisfaction when working in teams. These domains were learning and professional growth, respect, collegiality, and enjoyment, and accomplishment and discovery, with themes beneath each one listed. The domains were present in all 3 teams, though some were more dominant in one team than another. The themes under each domain parallel the matrix items that contribute to that theme. On the left side of the slide are the 17 motivators for the matrix, no longer in sequential order, but in order from lower on the bottom to higher on the top endorsement as a result of the matrix Rausch analysis. Interestingly, these qualitative data seem to suggest that the matrix items correlate with satisfaction, in that, excuse me, we can cluster our data into meaningful areas regarding satisfaction.
So the preliminary analysis of the quantitative data shows that biomed and health policy teams, when it comes to motivation across teams, followed by health policy and education at the least alignment is seen between biomed and education teams. In terms of what biomed and health policy, what biomed and policy align with, this relates to intellectual stimulation, innovation, and enthusiasm for problem solving towards success. Policy and education teams relate to a respect of varied disciplines while quickly solving problems, and biomed and education teams appear to enjoy working with each other.
So this study is a work in progress, and we continue to analyze the data. We are discovering, however, that there are noticeable patterns of differences in motivation across the 3 clusters of teams, as well as some similarities, as we have shown. We are pleased to see a correlation between the MATRICx motivation hierarchy and what we are finding along the satisfaction areas of learning and professional growth, where there's combination of formal and informal engagement, respect, collegiality, and enjoyment, which is more experiential and communally focused, and accomplishment and discovery, which is the most informal, and the focus there is on what others can do for me. In other words, how participants can gain and benefit from collaborating. We provide here the literature that supports our work. And here we would highly encourage, if you'd like to reach out to any of us to ask questions, provide comments, or to make general commentary. We look forward to hearing from you. We also hope you all have a wonderful conference, and we certainly hope that we will at least virtually bump into you during Insights 2021. Thank you for your time and attention. Have a great day.
Can't hear you.
No, that's because I can't stop the recording for some reason. Hold on, I'm getting there. I can edit this all out. It's okay.